Hey everybody, this is Dustin Purrier. Let me fix my camera real quick. And there we go. Okay, I have a working camera. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. This is Dustin Purrier with Giant Rocket Ship. And look at my little ghost-like books over there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is Dustin with Giant Rocket Ship doing my weekly office hours. And let's make sure we get this going. And what you should be seeing now is, well, me, but now you should be seeing um, my desktop. If you're unable to see my desktop, let me know. I've had issues with that in the past, but you should be seeing my Autotask right now. And we had a question. I actually went over this a few years ago. I think about 2 years ago when I first started doing these webcasts. And the question was, how can you track, prevent, manage ticket reopens? So what I want to do here is we're going to go through that. Let me move this over here. And so what I'm going to do is walk you through how to manage ticket reopens in Autotask. And you can do this pretty easily using workflow rules. So what we're going to do here is um, I've started using Draw.io and these to kind of walk through how I think about this stuff. And so let me bring this up real quick. And here was the diagram for my last thing. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And so let's just talk about what it looks like to reopen a ticket. So we have a ticket here, and we're just going to call it ticket. And let's say it gets closed, right? And then we have a person that sends us an email to reclose the ticket. I mean, to reopen the ticket, right? Response. Now, generally, our workflow rules are going to trigger a reopen by setting that ticket to customer responded, and it's going to reopen it. So you really have two things that you can do here. You can allow the reopen or reject the reopen. And it really kind of depends. Sometimes you might want to do it just based on how old the ticket is. And so we'll say allow reopen or deny reopen. And we want to see what are we going to do here? So let's say we're going to allow the reopen. It would be nice to track that we reopened it. And so just thinking through this, just high level, what would be nice here is if whenever a ticket was reopened, we updated some type of data that just said, hey, look, ticket was reopened. And this will allow us to run reports against tickets that got reopened. Maybe we want to start monitoring that. Maybe we want to figure out what we can do to manage that. Now, if the ticket was reopened, we'll flag it and we'll just treat it normally otherwise. But let's say we're going to decline that reopen. What happens? Deny reopen. Well, one thing is um, we need to tell them we need to flag that the ticket was attempted to reopen. Also, we need to send a message to the user, message can't reopen, create new ticket. Right? Isn't this kind of the workflow we would expect as a user? Is we would kind of just expect this to work like with some communication so we knew what was going on. So what we need here is let's first go through allowing a reopen. And so in allowing a reopen, all we want to do is let the normal customer respondent workflow trigger and then just flag the ticket. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to user defined fields, and I bet I already have this. Reopen status. Okay, this is too too complicated. So let's just do a is reopen. And then I'd like to just use a single set like list, which is yes, no. Now keep in mind with UDFs, on all the old tickets, it's going to default to blank. So blank is implied as no in our logic here that we're going to create. So what I want to do here is I want to go look at the workflow rules and we want to implement this. We have a data field now to track this. We need to set that data field. And so I'm going to go to my workflow rules, and I'm jumping around a lot here. I'm going to go to my workflow rules. And this is a test tenant, so I don't think we have a workflow rule for that. Let's see. We don't. Okay, so we're going to create one, and it's going to be customer responded. And it typically looks like edited and status. When the status changes to change to, and you know, one of the big things that people always mess up is they use the equal to, which is not what you want, because this will fire all the time. Every time you edit the ticket, if it's in that status customer responded. So let's see. Customer responded. So normally what we would do here is we would have an autoresponder do something. So like, let's just say we had that. And what we're looking for here is ticket contact. There we go. I was a little blind. Okay, and so let's just say it's a we're gonna send them this. This is what 99.9% of people do. Up and generally you want to come from a support email address. But let's have a second one. So we have this, and it's gonna this is implementing here. And notice we don't have any barrier there. We don't say ignore if the ticket is closed. We're going to allow this, but in that situation, we need to also flag customer responded reopened ticket. Now watch what we're going to do. Now, and again, I'm going to move this down. That first workflow implements this. Now we need to implement a workflow here. See? And what we're going to do here is we're going to say if, uh-oh, my screens are going wonky. I think what happened was my video camera went out. So we're going to leave that. I think I'm still sharing. Let me verify. Yes. So I just killed my camera. But what we're going to do is we're going to say if the status changed from completed, see how this works? And it changed to customer responded, then update that. Oh, that's accounts. So update reopen. No, not reopen status. I think we just have a special one is like is reopen. If so, look what happened. So if a ticket goes from completed to responded, flag it. And then now we have a way to easily report on tickets that have been reopened, and we fully implemented this branch, right? But let's say that we don't want to allow the reopen. We would need to delete that workflow rule. well, actually, we're going to use that one for this email. So ticket was attempted to reopen. Um, there's two ways you can do this. Um, the problem you're going to have with this first method I'm going to show you is that it doesn't let you easily set up an autoresponder. One way you could do this is if you're using the email processor in Autotask or something, then you actually, let's do this simpler. Customer responded. But watch, we don't want to send them the automatic response if the status was previously completed. Status, oh, it's not going to let you do it not from status to. So how do we want to do this? So status changed to, well, not equal to, so you have to get more granular, I guess, with this approach, the way that Autotask is kind of limiting what you can do here. Because, all right, let's say it changed from, um, hmm, how should we, I mean, I know how to, there's a way to brute force this. I'm trying to make it nice and smooth. So how would we prevent this from firing? So reopen ticket. Customer change, if status changed from completed, status changed to customer responded. I mean, what you can do here is status equals. So what you can do here is you can force this to go to complete. And I'm still trying to think what's the best way to predict. So what the issue with this is, okay, this will work right here. So this implements the a ticket was attempted to reopen. So this is implementing this, right? It's not letting them reopen the ticket, but and that's actually easy to set that up. The trick is, how do we send them a response so that they get a message? Well, I guess in this situation, customer responded, you normally wouldn't send the ticket a contact like that. So what so actually this is kind of pointless. This should have been like to ticket resource or something, right? And so we're not going to send them a message, but I still want them to send them, okay. Oh, okay. I think I've unconfused myself. So really what you need to do in this one is change to customer responded, inactivate this one, right? In this scenario. And so this is not an inactive. And now all we want to do is, if it's changed from complete to customer responded, flag it as a reopen, and then you would send them from here a message, and you would have your whatever template, and it would be you can't reopen this, sorry. And it would be a message template just for that. And so notice what we're doing. We're sending them an email, always from the help desk, not from the resource. I don't know why that's the default. It's going to send them a message saying, hey, look, you can't do this. It's going to send a ticket contact. And then it's going to slam the ticket back closed, but flag it so that, say, your service manager can look at this once a week to see why your customers are reopening tickets. Also, that's a good morning dashboard, so they can go see if the customer ever created that new ticket, and if not, if they need a phone call. So I kind of walked myself in circles, but that's actually how you would solve this. So that is going to do this. It denies the reopen. More specifically, it recloses the ticket. Keep in mind, if you have SLAs, it doesn't matter here, because when you completed it would have already resolved it and updated the SLA, so it's not going to reset that. Then it's also going to send them the message and flag it. So that's how we do that. The only mistake I made here was sending a note to the customer. All I need to do was to update that UDF and set it back to customer responded. So that was fine. So that's how we're going to handle ticket reopens. It handles both cases, when we want to allow it and when we want to deny it. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. Again, this is Dustin Purrier, Giant Rock Shop, and this is our office hours for Autotask. I hope you guys have a good day.